2 weeks ago, Chris Rock tweeted a link to an article in the Federalist. It was about Jerry Seinfeld, and it was titled, "Seinfeld's Comedian in Cars is a Welcome Respite from the Insufferable Wokeness of Comedy." People apparently were offended for two reasons. First, someone would describe the insufferable wokeness of comedy as a bad thing. Yeah, And second, that Chris Rock would endorse something from the Federalist. Rock just seemed to be showing support for his friend Jerry Seinfeld. That's it. Jerry Seinfeld, kind of respected elder of comedy. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't lead with politics. In fact, he never talks about it. If you want your show to be funny, don't talk about it. That's his philosophy. Seinfeld gets the comedy business. And comedy, if you're going to stay in business, takes priority, even over politics.
When I say sustainable,
you mean
months in the future.
You've heard environmental type people say that, so you using the word, but
I don't really know.
You don't really know what it means or how to do it.
No, I just know that it's a word that comforts people.
Yeah.
Okay. A review of Seinfeld's Netflix show, Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee, which is great, complains that Seinfeld doesn't grill his guests on politics, saying, quote, "In 2018, being ambivalent is considered a flaw." Shut up. In other words, if you're a comedian today and you're not ranting about politics of our troubled times, there is something wrong with you. Seinfeld is one of the exceptions among the comedians in not wanting to talk about politics, and it frustrates other comedians who obsess over Donald Trump. When he was a guest on David Letterman's interview show recently, Letterman waxed lyrical about Michelle Wolf's roast of Trump at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, and then he asked Seinfeld this.
Do you do Trump stuff when you go out?
No, it doesn't interest me. I do a lot of raisin stuff.
A lot of what?
Raisins. I have a lot of raisin material.
Comedy wasn't always this political. I mean, it wasn't always one-sided. Politics has always been involved in a joke, but where we're at now didn't happen overnight. And it's not all Trump's fault. It's been a 60-year slow burn for comedy to be taken over by politics. Overall, the transition reflects the nation's growing partisan divide, with several different events providing rocket fuel burst of more politics in comedy along the way. But it was the Clinton impeachment drama in the late 1990s, then the 2000 presidential election, and the Iraq War that made politics a permanent fixture in comedy. And the forefront of the anger was the Jon Stewart show, The Daily Show.
I was not elected to serve one party.
You were not elected.
I hit a nerve.
Okay, Jon Stewart became an iconic hero of the left. Not primarily for being funny, which I think he was, but for taking down the Bush administration night after night after night. Compared to the relatively small size of its Comedy Central cable audience, The Daily Show had a disproportionate influence on politicizing comedy because it was just on the cutting edge, just as the internet exploded. Jon Stewart's takedown of Bush would now go viral. The Daily Show also had a disproportionate influence because of the other shows that it spawned. The Colbert Report, John Oliver's Last Week Tonight on HBO, Full Frontal with Samantha Bee. Then Colbert took over David Letterman's Late Show on CBS. The Daily Show shifted the focus for late-night comedy shows. It was all about politics now. The George W. Bush Iraq invasion era was bad, but nothing compared to the Trump era. The anti-Trump comedy is now relentless.
Mr. Trump, your presidency, I love your presidency. I call it disgrace the nation. You're not the POTUS, you're the bloatus. You're the glutton with the button. You're a regular Gorge Washington. You're the presidents.
Those aren't jokes. Those are jokes. Those are insults. I mean, it's like we have Don Rickles and a bad Don Rickles. Criticizing presidents on late shows is not new. What's new is the rise of the insanely self-important people like Stephen Colbert. A recent Quartz.com article says, quote, Stephen Colbert has transitioned from conservative satirist to earnest talk show host. His political views are now transparent, while his comedy has faded away. Too often, rather than using comedy to make jokes from the outside, left-wing humor earnestly defends one's perspective and ridicules those on the other side. That is what we just saw. Being out of power is so enraging to people on the left that even some comedians have lost their ability to laugh at life. It has become all about political targeting instead of actual comedy. Satire and poking fun at the establishment is no longer enough. Comedy is now a weapon.